Everyone to the CBC podcast. Of course, today we are talking movies and whatever the movie world decided to put out as news this week, which wasn't a lot. Surprisingly, the amount of trailers we've gotten, but in hindsight, it's not that much. But we'll probably get some more some point this week, and we'll have stuff to talk about next week. But anyway, as always, I'm Mitch. I'm of course joined by Joe.
Mm-hmm. How's it going?
You Joseph? Is that the full one?
No.
What's the full one?
Jose. Because I'm Spanish.
What is? Yeah. Pardon my my.
Joseph's for English people or American.
Gonna say ignore my white ignorance, but. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he's there. I'm here. You can follow us anywhere by googling Comic Cast. Joe's inhaling like he's got something to say.
No, I wasn't inhaling. No.
Oh, I just thought you went to say something. But...
Oh no. What do you mean inhale? What?
We're professional. Yeah, Google Comic Book Cast. You'll find us everywhere. The Twitch is where we are currently live right now. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, not Spotify. Yeah. You can follow myself at Mitch692 and Joe at Halftime Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Timestamps, as always, on YouTube and podcast services are in the description or wherever they are and in other places. I don't know. I don't use them. Yeah. So if you want to jump around, there's only like 3 things. So yeah. Yeah. Unless you got anything to remind people of, I don't think there is.
Don't think so, except that apparently Creed 2 came out already. Even though I thought it was Friday, but I guess it was today or even yesterday. Could have been the extra show. I have no idea. Actually, it makes sense if it's Wednesday and it comes out on Tuesday as the premiere night, or not premiere night, but like the like the midnight release day. How the day before, because like some movies are supposed to come out on Friday. Yeah, movies supposed to come out on Fridays, but they usually you can go watch them on Thursdays. So that's probably what it is. It's supposed to come out on Wednesday, but it comes out today. Interesting. I might go see it actually. I have nothing else to do. So.
Go see it. Talk about a good movie next week and not trash. But yeah, just to jump straight into it because we really haven't got anything this week. IGN has revealed a new look at Paul W.S. Anderson's. Is that the right one?
Probably.
His Monster Hunter movie. It's actually the first picture we've seen that even remotely resembles Monster Hunter, like official one. Before we had Army guy in desert, then we had army people in desert. Now we got army person wearing not quite accurate clothes in the desert with someone that actually is fairly accurate. Yeah, my only problem is it looks like a cosplay.
Let's see.
Yeah. It's
but it's like how that just goes to show how good cosplays are nowadays.
Yeah, but like I was thinking of this earlier because I thought to myself, it looks like a cosplay. And it's like, why? Like, cosplay is really good. Like, why do people even say that? And I think it's because like cosplay goes for the translation, and it can, it doesn't really suit movies. Like, I wouldn't ever get a cosplayer to make a suit if I was making a multi-billion-dollar movie. Because it doesn't look that great. It's just too translated. And it's like, this, like, yes, it's accurate, despite them saying, oh, we're basing it on the commander. Well, we've used the field team leader's outfit. Oh, but he's just a hunter. That doesn't really make sense in my head. But, it looks, it's accurate. I just don't think it
looks like it
particularly great on movie, to be honest. It doesn't help that the sword's way too small. Like, it's supposed to be huge.
See, that's...
he's carrying a bow as well, and I'm like, you can only carry one weapon. Like, come on now. I know it's Tony Jaa, but no, come on now.
I figured they could have made it bigger and it wouldn't matter because they can make these things out of materials that weigh like a feather.
You just make it out of foam, and it's like...
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I guess I see your point.
It's ripped straight from the game, though. Like that sword and the bow and the armor as well is just lifted from Monster Hunter World. It's fantastic, but it doesn't really look on budget. And like even like her armor as well, it resembles one of the armor sets in the game, minus all the color and the armor looking really nice. But this one's just bland and black. But it's what it is. At least I suppose at least they're trying to an extent, but I'm really not going to hold my breath on this movie whatsoever. They're also in the desert, so bland settings. But then maybe they're going after that massive elder dragon. I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know anything about Monster Hunter, so it's to me just like
to be fair,
I see your point though, how it can look like a cosplay, but you know,
like even when you expand the image to its full size, like the actual like guard of the sword just looks like foam. It looks kind of cheap from a distance, from like close up.
sure.
But I don't know. It's not really a movie you can kind of.
It looks like the top side of a dragon's face, like you know, like it.
Fun fact: it is.
Oh, well, there you go.
The wyvern jaw blade.
Well, there you go. That's just exactly what it looks like.
Just pushed my glasses up, but yeah, he's got the. I think it's
I
just
think that's a cool look.
It's a cool look. It's not a random hunter's look, but it's higher rank than that, so they're not obviously going that deep into it. Oh, that looks cool. We'll take that. That looks cool. We'll take that. But it's cool that the weapons look identical. You know, he's even got like the daggers on his back with part of the dual blades. So this guy's packing. I don't know how he's packing because you can only carry one. Also, he hasn't got a slinger on his arm, so I'm kind of mad. That's just me. But yeah, that's another week, another bit of Monster Hunter. I'm just gonna complain about the movie every time something comes out until I'm proven otherwise. But hey ho. Moving on to something we probably both talk about, really. We have our first look at the Dumbo trailer, which I don't know how to feel about.
Any type of animal cruelty gets me sad. Just saying.
I mean, facts.
So that's like if it's gonna do anything, it's gonna get me to be sad and then happy when Dumbo gets reunited and stuff like that. But I mean, it's all right, I guess. It seems like it's gonna be all right. I personally think Dumbo looks good, but that's, I don't know, just for my like.
Yeah, I mean, it's very. You can tell Tim Burton did this. Like everything screams Tim Burton. The look of Dumbo, the Bette Midler cover of Baby Mine that's over the trailer just screams Tim Burton. The story is not Dumbo in the slightest.
I 100%, be honest with you, I barely remember the Dumbo story, like the old movie. I know I've seen it. I just don't remember it. And reading the comments, apparently there is a mouse that helps him, and people so people are low key a little mad that the girl is probably going to be replacing the mouse that would help him, and that kind of sucks. So might as well, if you're going to go all in, you know?
Yeah. No, I watched this. Like, I showed this to my old dear as well, and because she used to work at Disney in like the '80s, and I was like, I don't remember Dumbo. I'm the same as you. It was like I can remember specific parts, but not like the plot of Dumbo. All I know is he learns to fly and his mum gets taken away. That's all I remember. Obviously, the racist crows as well, which are absent from this movie.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be more mean or something, and they're not that mean when it comes to the movie, or at least from this trailer. And I wonder, a lot of that is they just wanted to scale it back because maybe it would have been too much to have them be that mean and super racist and stuff like that. Especially
well, I mean, the crows weren't mean. I mean, to be fair, they kind of bullied him to an extent, but like, it's just more like, oh, they are a horrific stereotype that would not fly this day. You know?
Yeah, so that's probably why they scaled it back a lot.
I mean, it's probably why. Yeah. Of course, it's more like Colin Farrell, I suppose, in this. Like,
yeah, it doesn't seem like Dumbo's gonna be the main. It definitely seems like it's the kids who have to realize that their parents aren't who they say they are, and the parents have to try to regain the trust. It doesn't seem like a lot. It's going to be a lot of Dumbo. It's going to be like maybe set 65-35 or even 60-40. Kids are 60 and Dumbo's 40.
Yeah. Actually, thank you, chat. The pink elephant part in this, I knew I remembered that.
I don't even know what that is.
Like, you don't know Pink Elephant? Pink Elephant Parade.
I don't remember anything from the old movie. Or the old story.
It's actually probably the only plot I remember, really. He gets drunk with the mouse.
Somebody said something about getting
and then
drunk,
he starts like hallucinating his pink elephant, and they do all sorts of weird, trippy stuff. And it's got a little song to it. It's really...
I like this comment. At the end, Dumbo flies and Dumbo goes with his mom, but the movie takes only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's Let's see. Yeah, I mean, everybody's feeling the same. Like, it's just kind of one of the funniest comments I saw was, "We live in the world where Detective Pikachu has more views on his trailer than Dumbo." I'm like, yeah, we do.
It has more views in the Toy Story trailer.
Yeah, we do, guys, because Detective Pikachu movie of the year. I'm saying
that movie is gonna explode.
100%. Even my friends who like, you know, they were all into Pokemon, but it was like the Gen 1, and I'm the only one that really keeps up with it, and they did, you know, Pokemon Go because it was Gen 1, but they were like, yo, Joe, we got, yo. They're just exactly like this, their words, yo. We gotta go see Detective Pikachu. I was like, of course, bro, we're gonna go. It's just like one of those things where, you know, having Pikachu and even some of the Gen 1 Pokemon in there will get, you know, similar to Pokemon Go, it will get some of those older fans that don't keep up with it anymore. So yeah. We're just gonna go to Detective Pikachu talk, but yeah, I mean,
I could talk about that trailer.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I love that trailer. I just want more, and I've been playing.
Especially when you realize in that trailer, there's a tiny Venusaur in the little like food market bit, and it's just like, why is Venusaur?
Really,
so small?
I didn't even see that. Why? I need to come back.
If you look at it, it's just right before it says Pika Pika. Like, if you pause it and it has that look down on the little market bit. Yeah. On the bottom right corner, there's a little Venusaur, and it's like, why are you so small? You should be huge. And this is a tiny one, you know. Pokemon Go went like, you know, these things can be huge and way more than you expect. So it could be a little baby one. Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, with Dumbo, I guess it's you know, it's gonna come out. It's gonna do fine, I bet. And it's similar to all the other Disney.
I'm saying it'll make some kind of money.
Yeah, it'll do fine, and I'm sure people will enjoy it to an extent. And there'll be some things I'm like, oh, it messed around with this, but it still was overall good. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that into Dumbo, so I'm.
No, it's. Yeah. But I find it weird Tim Burton's doing it. It's like he lost you a ton of money on the second Alice in Wonderland movie. Like, yes, he made you $1 billion with the first one, but he lost you a ton of money on the second one.
Like, so it's kind of... Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not that into Dumbo or that into Mary Poppins, but I was into Winnie the Pooh, so when that came out, I was super into it. But this one, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Yeah.
But yeah, and moving on to our last bit of news today. Lego, thankfully, the Lego Movie Part 2 or whatever it's called decided to drop a trade today, so we had something more to talk about. But yeah, Lego Movie 2 trailer.
Yeah,
has dropped.
And for anybody listening, Mitch doesn't like Lego Movie. So if he kind of rips on this trailer, it's not his thing. That's why. It's not his thing.
It's not a bad movie. It's just annoying as well.
It's not his thing. So don't harp on him too much because...
I mean, you can harp me all you want.
Because the Lego movies are well beloved, almost everybody loves the movie. There's hardly anybody that doesn't like it. And this one, I just see nothing but pure I couldn't wait. This is awesome. That was funny. Blah, blah, blah. And I was a big fan of the original Lego movie. I was wondering how they're gonna go with the second one, right? Because this is the same guys who did 21 Jump Street to 22 Jump Street. And I thought 21 was great. I was like, they can't do a second one that's really that good. And
22 was great.
Yeah, 22 was great because, of course, it made fun of the fact that it's a sequel. And Lego Movie's kind of doing the same thing where it's making fun of that it is a sequel to the second one.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that's making fun
of it. Well, not too much, but I feel like there's an underlying thing about it. I feel like there's going to be because there's a joke that it's going to be more developed in the movie, but it seems like you can see a little bit in the trailer of how Emmett's the same. You would think, character development, Emmett wouldn't be, true. But there's gonna be a joke about it, he was, he's the same. There's gonna 100% be a joke about that he's not changing in the sequel or something like that.
Chat, I'm not afraid to time you all out for 10 minutes. You could stop that right now. But yeah, this one, it just looks like a sequel. It's like, here's everything from the first one, but we're going to crank it up a bit more.
Yeah, and that's,
It's also just it's the Lego Movie 2 Chris Pratt movie.
I don't remember seeing 22 Jump Street trailer, so I don't know how much of, the joke of that it was a sequel, here's the first one, but we're just going to do it different. I don't know how much of that was in the trailer, so I'm not going to, that could be the same thing for this movie, but it doesn't, but does it different. I don't know. I need to... of course, see the movie because the trailer is only going to give us a little bit, and I'm looking forward to this, to be honest, because I just think I laughed at the trailer. I think it's going to be another funny movie. I think these guys are pretty great at what they do. They make us laugh and make entertaining movies and great adventures to go on. And I don't know what to say. It's just, I don't know too much of these other characters that they're bringing on, the space characters, but
I mean, half of the new characters just Chris Pratt.
well, I mean, that's just one of them. We saw 3, I think, right?
Yeah, but no, I'm pretty certain Chris Pratt voices like multiple. Like, more
Really?
than
I thought the point was that he only voiced that one guy because he's a guardian defending archaeologist cowboy.
Raptor trainer.
Yeah. So
It's I don't know.
I'm looking forward. So as somebody
if you like the first Lego movie,
you're probably gonna like this one.
You'll love this one, but
as somebody who really loved, I would say, the first one, I think this is gonna do justice to the franchise. I think, 'cause I didn't see the other two, the Ninjago, and there's another one. Actually, Lego Batman. So
Lego Batman's the only good Lego movie to me.
I haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Have you not seen it?
Nah, it wasn't. I don't know.
It's so good.
It's
like surprisingly good.
I'll check it out eventually, but I don't know. I don't think it'll top Lego movie for me personally. And yeah, that's right. If you like the first one, it seems like you're probably gonna like the second one because it's doing a lot of similar things, but it's trying to change it up and do that 22 Jump Street style probably. So I'm looking forward to it. There's just not much else to say other than the fact that I thought the trailer was funny. The only, I guess, thing is that they still have like Superman and Green Lantern in here and stuff like that. I think that's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's still gonna everything from the first one's gonna come back.
Yeah, so they still have some of like the superheroes, and they're probably gonna add more Lego stuff in there. I'm curious as to when they're gonna add Lego Scooby Doo into these movies. Like, when are they gonna show them? Cause
Scooby Doo, no idea.
Yeah, because Scooby Doo's owned by Warner Brothers, so
they were also in the.
I'm
saying I have no idea.
Yeah, they were also in the game. So I'm curious as to when are they going to show up in this universe, whether it be its own movie. Because honestly, a Lego Scooby Doo movie, I wouldn't mind, because it's not like they're making a regular Scooby Doo movie. So I wouldn't mind a Lego version, and I just wonder when they're going to show up, when any of these other characters that similar to the game, so like a Back to the Future or whatever, like Scooby Doo has Lego. Yeah, Scooby Doo has Lego, but
that was just responding to me.
But I'm just curious as to, right now it is a lot of similar characters to the first one. I died at the star. It's like, it's so cold. I died, dude. I literally died at that star part. It is like, hey, what are you doing? I see nothing happened. I don't know. It's just funny, man. It's just gonna be another cool adventure. We're gonna laugh. There's gonna be jokes in there that some kids aren't gonna get, like the first one, I bet. And it's just, so it's gonna be another good time, in my opinion. I wonder,
actually, unless you don't like the female lead is better than the male, as this one kind of goes on about, then you're probably not gonna enjoy this one.
I think this is gonna be better than Wreck-It Ralph 2, to be honest. To break the internet.
Wreck-It Ralph's been getting a lot of good
reviews. But it's just like it's just the whole internet thing of like, it's just old people trying to be kids.
It's basically meme the movie.
Yeah, and apparently
it's really good. So.
Yeah, but like, it's meme the movie, dude. It can't be that good, and I 100% believe that.
I mean,
I'll watch it. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I've always said in here, like, the marketing hasn't been great for this movie.
Even the trailers weren't that good. Like, it's cool, it has Iron Man and it had Star Wars in it, but it didn't look that good, and it just looked like they ran out of ideas, and they're like, let's just do memes, because the kids love memes, right? Yeah, let's do memes. So, I don't know, I 100% believe Lego Movie 2 is going to be better as a movie than Wreck-It Ralph 2, so...
Yeah, it's basically Emoji
Movie 2.0. You're right, man. That's just, yeah. So yeah,
I'm hoping I enjoy it, but
I mean, I'll see it. I don't know when it comes out, actually.
You get it next week, I think.
Let's see.
Or this week, one of the two.
I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, Lego Movie 2 is coming out when exactly? Does it say?
2019. Something.
Yeah, February 2019. So it's probably like.
It's in February. Is that close?
Yeah.
There you go. Wreck-It Ralph 2 is this week for
Oh, it
US
already
show.
came out. It's out
Oh,
today.
tomorrow.
Today. So yeah, I guess Creed 2 and Wreck-It Ralph are out tomorrow, but you can watch them today too at 6 o'clock actually, at 6 and 9. So I think about it. It's one of those. I don't know which one to go watch first.
What was your other choice that you were gonna go watch?
Creed 2 and
Oh,
Wreck-It
of course, it
Ralph.
was Creed 2. Yeah.
So I gotta go watch those two. But the
See,
homies
if I
probably.
was you, I'd go for the one I'm less excited about first,
I'm not gonna like
and then end
double.
on a high.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
gonna.
I'm saying like that. That's just the order I'd go in.
Oh, okay. So probably Wreck-It Ralph, and then
You
we'll see what
start off
happens.
low and go up high. You know, if you start off low and it's a good movie, you're surprised.
Yeah,
Win-win all around.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's kind of it about Lego Movie. I just thought it was fun. Yeah, that trailer.
yeah, I mean, same. Well, it looks like
Looks like
it's
the
more
first
the
one.
same. If you thought the first one was fun and a good time, this looks exactly the same. So
Well, that's why I think it's gonna do that 22 Jump Street where it looks the same, but it's definitely gonna in the
yeah.
movie. There's gonna be some
I
different
will say
stuff.
I like the whole idea. It's just like, oh, the cliffhanger from the first one actually something happened and came from that.
Yeah.
So oh, look, we're Mad Max now. Like that's cool.
Or Mad Max.
But yeah,
Let's see.
do I jump ahead and try and stop you talking? It's
I'm waiting for you to transition.
Yeah, I know. I was debating whether to just jump ahead and ignore the Fantastic Beast part, but
I mean,
you saw Fantastic Beast,
okay,
the crimes of J.K. Rowling.
So movies of the week, because you got to say that. Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. I did go see the movie. I hadn't seen the first one, which was the interesting part. I was low key excited for this movie, and I hadn't seen the first one. I just thought the trailers looked really enjoyable. So I saw the first one the day of. I went to go see this movie, and my initial thing was that I couldn't hear Eddie Redmayne at all because it sounded like he spoke under his breath the whole movie in the first one. But I thought the first one, the first hour was boring, and the rest got a little bit more exciting, but it was still kind of okay. The second one, I thought added definitely. It seemed like it wasn't as like it wasn't the same. Where it was not boring the first hour, in my opinion, just because we were kind of already introduced to the characters, and it's kind of like the thing we always talk about, right? You do the first movie, then you get the keys, and you get to do a lot more stuff because we already know these characters and whatnot. So Newt, who I thought had no charm and had pretty much no character in the first one. I get his character's like a scientist, and he's supposed to be reclusive and not know how to interact socially. I get it. He's essentially the opposite of Harry Potter. So that's kind of what they were going for. They were going for more of someone who stays in the lab and doesn't have any friends type of person, as opposed to Harry Potter, who's like, can be social and he's a hero and stuff like that. And that's really supposed to think new to hero. I guess that's the thing I came out of it. But with the second one, you start to see they added a little bit more to him, and I guess that's the point of a sequel, to add more to the characters. And he got more charm. That's 100% like made me like the movie more. That Newt had more charm in the movie. It seemed like he was becoming a little bit more of a hero, but it's still like he's not wanting to be a hero. It's just kind of he's put in those situations and he's stepping up to the plate.
Yeah,
and also the fact that he kind of still talks under his breath, but not as much in the second one. Like, in my opinion, I feel like I needed subtitles. And Mitch said, "Why didn't you just go see a subtitle version of the movie?" I didn't know I was gonna need subtitles. I thought they were gonna fix it for the second one.
But you did, because you said the exact same thing about the first one.
I thought they would fix it. It's a second movie. I don't even.
Maybe it's not a problem they think it needs to be fixed, so why would they fix it?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that it would be fixed. I don't know. I thought it would be a problem. They noticed that Eddie Redmayne just talks under his breath. He's like, "You gonna do this?" So like, bro, can you like speak louder? For real. And also, it doesn't help that I just, I'm not the. I can understand all the characters as they're speaking in English accents, but so I guess I just couldn't understand certain things, like when they were talking about like origins of Grindelwald or something like that. They're talking about some stuff with Grindelwald, Johnny Depp, basically. I know everybody hates Johnny Depp, and I get it. I'm trying to separate the actor from the movie, and it's not like he was the perfect character. He still had some things I thought he could have did differently, but I thought the character was done pretty well by Depp. But yeah, I just thought, they would change a little bit of how you hear stuff, because the first one, it really helped having subtitles, but I needed subtitles with this one. And I know Chad's gonna be like, well, it worked for me, so if it works for me, no, I'm not the only person, Chad, that complains about this, because I've seen other people in reviews literally talk about how Eddie Redmayne talks under his breath. I've seen it in reviews by websites, I've seen it in reviews on Letterboxd. Everybody says the same thing of Eddie Redmayne talks under his breath, isn't he? That's just the thing. And
I haven't seen anyone else, but then again, I don't look at anything regarding these movies, so that's not really.
I have the past week, and I would say that yes, there are other people who see the same thing as me. That Eddie Redmayne talks.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that I don't see anything else apart from you. So
Chad's telling me talks under his breath and not understanding him are two different things. No, they're not, because
It's kind of not.
I can't understand him because he's talking under his breath.
Yeah. Joe's not saying it's the same thing. He's saying it's because he's talking under his breath
that I can't understand.
That he can't understand him. Yes, they're two different things, but they're mutually exclusive.
Everybody else in the movie talked pretty good, they loud, or you could hear them. It's just that one I just honestly couldn't there's some times they were talking, I'm like, man, I wish after all these years with Mitch, you'd think I would have learned a little bit more about the English accent and still have it.
I mean, you would have thought, but you said no.
But yeah, and the standout has to probably be Dumbledore of this movie. Everybody loves Jude Law's Dumbledore, and he's pretty great, and I wish we see more of him. He definitely has this kind of heroic, he knows he's gonna you could trust him, and if there's a battle, he's gonna most likely win, just because he has this bravado about him that I really enjoy.
It's also because it's Dumbledore and it's a prequel, so
it's also this Dumbledore, and he's basically the strongest wizard alive. So
I mean, yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't even matter. I get it that it's a prequel and he's gonna live still, but it's also just the strongest wizard alive. So that's why he probably has that bravado, because Jude Law just does well as the Dumbledore, and I can't wait to see more of him, because I assume we're gonna see more of it. Because spoilers, there is some spoilers in here in case anybody's wondering. I haven't gone into too spoilery, but this is a spoiler in case anybody's wondering. So you can skip into the timestamp and go into the box office, but there is a reason why Dumbledore doesn't fight Grindelwald. Of course, they were friends and possibly lovers. It seemed like from the thing they were lovers. I'm not entirely sure, but the thing is, they made this pact, this blood pact, years ago, that they would never fight each other for whatever reason. If they had to, if somebody were to recruit them or whatever. And then, of course, one of them went bad, and Dumbledore can't fight him because there's this blood pact that's with magic, where he actually literally can't physically fight him. It's not that he doesn't want to; he just can't physically, because there is this magic spell that says they can't fight. But at the end, of course, they get the spell, and he's going to try to break it. But yeah, so Dumbledore was a great part of it. As I said, depth. Grindelwald was pretty good. My favorite thing about him was that he didn't try to portray himself as a guy who's doing bad things for the good of the world. He literally says in the movie to his hench people, we're all about so the exact quote was, somebody said that we're gonna kill these people and we're gonna take over the world, and then Grindelwald said, we don't speak of those things here. It's all about freeing people and making people believe in themselves. It's literally, he knows he's evil, but he's trying to fake it to people. So I thought that was a great route to take it, because you could have just went the default route of he believes he's the good guy even though he's doing bad things and stuff like that. But no, he knows he's evil and he works it. I like that, actually. I thought the guy from the first movie, what was it, Colin Farrell? I thought he would have did better than Depp, in my opinion, as a bad guy. I don't know, that might just be me. But yeah, I just thought he would have did better. Also,
no chat. I don't think Dumbledore's openly gay in this. I think it's literally just in that one implication with that, we're more than brothers sort of thing.
Yeah, and
it's not ever mentioned or anything.
And I don't know too much of the backstory, if he is or isn't. It didn't really affect me, to be honest.
She says he is, but it's one of those Hollywood things where the people you say he is outside the movie, but inside the movie it's just Oh, there's no like make no reference.
Yeah, there's a lot of like directors and writers who definitely try to do that to
Yeah,
add more to their movie and stuff like that.
yeah. And
Um,
it just comes across. It feels cheap. It's just
I
like
don't even
it
think
feels.
it matters, to be honest. I don't. She shouldn't have said anything
I,
because it doesn't necessarily
I
matter.
mean, no, she shouldn't have said anything. That's kind of the problem. It's just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's gay. It's like, well, you're only kind of really saying that for points. Like, you're not really kind of acting on it. So
Like if they would have at least held hands, then okay, I can maybe see where she was coming from and how they're trying to portray it. But they didn't even show that. It was just kind of like a projection of just them around each other and getting closer, but then it fades off. So
yeah.
And yeah, look, chat saying I like this. Yeah, I would say I like this movie. I like it better than the first one. I don't think I like it better than.
Would you only just say you liked it because you were raving about this movie the other day?
I mean, it's because that third act was so shaky to me, bro. Like,
You're the only person I know who's acted that much.
Because the third act, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? This is wild. This is like crazy. That third act was crazy. The first two were good, but this is my point of what I told you, I think, last week, of kind of some people's criticism of the movies, both of them, and even this one specifically, is that there is a novel type of writing to it and not movie adaptation to it, as opposed to the Harry Potter movies, where in novels it definitely feels like there's like this huge long like spread of 20 pages that explains the whole thing right before the third act, right?
Yeah,
it definitely feels like that, whereas movies
exposition.
Yeah, and in movies it's the exposition is definitely more spread out and it's little by little, but in novels, since you're just kind of reading, they give you the exposition just like long, like right before the third act, and that's what happened in the movie. It definitely like.
I mean, to be fair, it was written by Rowling.
Yeah, so and it was, she's
not a screenwriter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's what a lot of people's
no,
criticisms are, because when you look at the difference between this and Harry Potter, the guys who adapted the screenplays from Rowling's books to the movies did a good job of taking out the stuff that wasn't needed, trimming down the fat, and kind of spreading out the structure, or like fixing the structure for the movie sakes, because I'm sure if it was done exactly like the book, it wouldn't be that entertaining of a movie. This one, there is some stuff that makes it as entertaining as a movie, so that's why I enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm iffy because I like this movie. I might even say I really like it. I don't think I'd love it just because there are some things where I definitely could have been fixed. They really underuse certain characters, and there's some, like, I guess everybody does make sense of why two characters who can't get married in the US, how come they just don't move and get married over there? Stuff like that. And instead of like the girl joining the bad guy, like, I get it. And that's one of the things they probably, I think the Russo brothers even addressed something like this when doing Infinity War, was they have this conversation of reading the script and saying, can this make sense somewhere else, or can this be broken if somebody thinks about it? Like, we have to make sure there are no holes. And I felt like somebody should have did that at Rowling for her movie, because there's some little holes in it. And of course...
Well, yeah, they should have got a screenwriter.
Exactly. I don't think she should be writing this movie, that she should be writing it, and then somebody adapts it. Yeah. Because clearly she's not an adapted screenwriter. She doesn't know per se movies so much, and that's gonna be overall the downfall of this franchise, I think. But at least if you compare it to the Harry Potter movies, but I guess we're still only 2 movies in, and there's 5, I guess. So
there's 3 more. Yeah,
I hope eventually it gets, maybe if she does them all, she eventually gets better, and by the last one we're like, oh, finally, like an actual movie. But
what franchise on earth waits until 5 movies in to just be happy it's a good movie? Like, who sticks with the franchise?
Well, it's not that it's a good, like, it'll be a better, like, writing sense, because I think the first 2 are okay movies. Like, I think even this one's I would say it's a good movie. I still don't think it matches to any of the Harry Potters. Maybe the first 2, because the first 2 are more like family friendly and they're not supposed to be too much. But even then, I really like those first 2 movies. So, but I wouldn't even put Crimes of Grindelwald up. Like, it wouldn't even match any of the Harry Potter movies past the 4th one.
It doesn't match any Harry Potter movie, apparently.
Yeah, like, the 3rd one I even thought was pretty good. So, I don't know. I think it's fine, but it just doesn't match up to Harry Potter movies. And I think a lot of it has to do with that.
Harry Potter. It's a Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, it's a Harry Potter franchise, but
it's simple as that. It's a Harry Potter franchise.
I'm talking about the other movies. Yeah.
Like, it's just called Fantastic Beasts. It's a Harry Potter film.
Oh, so Chad's trying to say the first Fantastic Beasts still feels like Rowling trying to do Doctor Who. Yeah, in a little way, I guess so. I mean, it even has like a partner, you know, like.
Question: where are the Fantastic Beasts in all this?
Oh, this is one of the greatest parts in this is that they continue. So the first one is Fantastic Beasts are where to find them, right? So he has all these beasts in his case, and they get let loose in New York, and he has to try to find them all before it's too late and stuff like that. So that's the first one, right? And we get introduced to the characters and to the beasts in that one, and it sets it up because in the second one they are really actually helpful. Like there's one beast that his main thing is to find silver and gold, and he basically saves the hero, like the movie, because he gets that blood pact from Grindelwald. Like, so Grindelwald has the blood pact, but that little beast that finds silver and gold stole it, and now it gave it to the good guys, and they're able to destroy it so Dumbledore can go fight Grindelwald. And and there's a one point where they remember those cats in the trailer.
No.
So you don't remember the cats in the trailer where you said the eyeballs looked weird?
Oh yeah.
So there's those cats. The heroes fight, but since he met a beast earlier in the movie, like he brought out the beast to fight it and stuff like that, and it was super funny because it gets distracted by a little toy that looks similar to it and rings and like jingles. So I don't. There's this. The beasts have a lot to play with this, and that's essentially how he's fighting. Instead of, like, you know how in Harry Potter they would do fighting based on magic, like Harry would do that. It seems like Newt just does a lot of fighting by knowing which beast to send out, like he's a Pokemon trainer or something. And he does some magic, but the beasts help a lot, and I think
so. It's not really something you could call your movie after. No,
I would say so because they definitely do help out, and you meet new beasts. We meet a couple new beasts in this one, but there are some of the old ones that help.
They're not the focus of the movie. They're just something in the world.
Well, it's kind of like Harry Potter. He's the guy.
Harry Potter was the focus of the entire.
Yeah,
film.
So I would say Fantastic Beasts. They are a part of Newt. They are a Newt because he is the focus. So I would say he's the main hero. I would say it matters. I don't know, in my opinion, because that's how he fights. He uses the beast and he meets a new beast, and I'm sure he's gonna meet new ones in the next one, and he's gonna try to use them. Like I think naming them after the Fantastic Beast, works because, as we said, like Harry Potter is named after the main character Harry Potter, and this one's like called Newt Scamander, which I'm glad because I don't know how good that makes of a movie. I
mean, that's it's not a marketable name in the slightest.
Yeah,
but
Fantastic Beast sounds cool.
I understand why they called it Fantastic Beasts because it's the name of the textbook. But the way these movies seem to be going, it doesn't really fit.
I think it does because, like I said, I think they meet new beasts and they use the beasts in the movie. It's not like they're just in the
From what
case.
you're saying, like they're not really a focal point for the plot. They're just a device that's used.
Well, because I mean, also
it's like calling the movie after a wand. It's kind of like
that's the other thing.
Actually, you could have done that. To be fair, that's actually not
bad.
That's
so when you look at the title, Crimes of Grindelwald is a massive. It has to be very tiny. Well, yeah, because they're trying to focus on Grindelwald. But I don't know. I think it does I don't know what exact word you said, but I think it does look a good or okay or matters that it is called Fantastic Beasts because they are using the beast and they are meeting new beasts. And they are very much a part of Newt because there is one line in this movie where one of the characters tells Newt that you never met a beast you wouldn't fall in love with, and he says, "Well, there aren't any weird beasts. There's only weird people." They very much are a part of him. Even as a kid, like he was like all about like creatures and all the fantastic beasts he could find. So I would say yes.
Chat, it's not really like Star Wars. The Star Wars franchise is focused on Star Wars. There's a war in the stars.
And Fantastic Beasts, there are beasts that are fantastic, that are in the movie, that help the movie.
Yeah, but they're not really, Star Wars...
It's not like every movie was going to be a... Well, I mean, that's why they have the little sub-things, right?
Yeah, but sure, but that's not... That is Crimes of Grindelwald is the title of this movie. It's not a subtitle.
But I guess Fantastic Beasts is just a marketable title. But I think it just makes sense because there are Fantastic Beasts. We are meeting new ones as well, and we are. It's Pokemon, but we're focused on Ash. Yeah, I guess. But we are meeting new ones, and we are learning more about like how some of them are used, and I just think it works well. I don't necessarily get the complaint about it.
I was just like. No, because no one ever talks about the Beast in this anymore.
Dude, the Beasts are great in this movie, and I mean, we say Beast, but there even counts like the little tree creature. He's a Fantastic Beast, and he picks locks, and he's great.
The little tree creature.
Yeah. So what? Last thing though, I want to say is the weirdest thing that happened in this movie was the fact that there were so many weird close-up shots. Whoever the director was, I don't know why he did that. It was just so. It almost felt like a dream sequence. I don't know if anybody else caught up to that. It's kind of like Pokemon. I like how I said that in chat's like noticing it.
It's not like Pokemon at all because Pokemon are a focal point of the plot. They are central characters. They're not just devices used.
No, but
completely different.
These are a focal point. It's not like they're not. Like we are getting to learn new beasts and we're getting to learn about them.
Yeah, but it's not like they're integral to anything.
Well. Yeah, they are, because if not, Newt wouldn't be able to do anything.
You barely mentioned them at all until I brought it up.
Well, because it's just one of those things where everybody wants to talk about the other stuff for some reason, when the Beasts are still pretty great. Like, they're one of the great parts in the movie. Everybody loves the Beasts. I'm not saying that,
but, you know, like, they're clearly not.
That's because everybody's just talking about, like, Grindelwald, because, it's Grindelwald's in this movie, and Dumbledore, but it's just one of those things where they are important, but because there are other things that have more cachet names, they're not. It's
also chat. If you have to go, it's not really a confidence thing.
But that's like I don't know what she means by but they are integral. I don't know because without the Beasts, you wouldn't have a movie. I would say because Newt wouldn't be able to do anything, and the whole point of the Beasts help move the plot along too as a device. You're right, but it's just the Beasts are there. They are useful. And we learn more about them every single movie. Like, there's new ones we meet. There's ones that we already met that we learn more about. This one is The Crimes of Grindelwald, and it's focused more on Grindelwald. Because I think they're trying to go down that route. It very much felt like the first one was the first two Harry Potter movies, and the second one was like the third one, where it starts to go more into the lore and stuff like that. If you know what I mean. They're not dangerous. They are pretty dangerous, the Beasts, but Newt knows how to control them. Because there was one that went wild, and
because Newt has 8 badges. That's why.
Yeah, essentially, and I mean, also when you think about Pokemon, like it's also about like the league and the badges and stuff like that. It's the Pokemon are there too. 2 new beasts in this movie. Yeah, I just think the beasts are an important part. It's just
two. Ooh.
It's just because you're kind of you already had so many beasts in the first one. You're not gonna get like as much because it's kind of like the same thing like Avengers, right? You already had so many Avengers. Like it's not like you're gonna add so many new ones in the next one. You're gonna add a couple. Yeah,
the adding points fair. But...
Yeah, you're gonna add a couple. So because we already met more, and then you're just gonna add on. But yeah, just same director as 5. 5 was good as Harry Potter. I just. Crime. There's this weird close-up that I just didn't understand. I just don't know what was happening. But I guess the biggest thing was that everybody talks about the Dumbledore thing, and you said it was a cheap twist.
It's 100% a cheap twist.
I don't know.
100%.
I don't know if 100%. I don't even know. Like, because
if you can't even say it's an actual thing that's correct, it's not just a bullcrap lie. It's a cheap twist.
Because I just don't...
He's just throwing names out there to get attention. That's what it is.
Well, no, because the fact that Grindelwald... a little bit, but that's not, like, to its kind of bad in a way, because that's kind of what Grindelwald does.
That's fine. I'm not saying you don't have to...
Grindelwald's like a straight-up liar, and I don't even know if I believe it, but...
It's okay if it's cheap. It's not okay. It's okay to like something if it's cheap.
No, but that's not the point. The point is, I don't think it is cheap because I think
that's fine. That's fine. I think it is. Cheap.
To me, it reminds me of we're watching My Hero Academia, right? You remember in that show when the bad guy tries to get the son or the apprentice, or I think it was the son, right, of All Might's like mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially it's in a similar vein where Grindelwald is trying to get Albus's brother. So because Albus's brother is definitely like a strong with like if he has his brother, then that means he'll be able to kind of control Dumbledore in a bit. Be like,
so then is he actually his brother?
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know, and I'm kind of.
So then it's kind of a cheap twist as it stands right now.
But I like that. I kind of don't know because it's the same thing where I like about Inception, where it keeps the conversation flowing. And it's just one of those things where.
I mean, to be fair, the ending of Inception is kind of cheap itself. It's like,
I like that actually.
I mean, I like it, but I mean, I acknowledge it.
I like that it's so cliffhanger like that, and I just don't know, like if it is true, which I kind of want it to be true because why get Ezra Miller if he's not going to be someone important, you know? But it's just one of those things. It makes sense if it's true if you look at kind of other content, like other TVs and movies where the villain grabs somebody that's important, that would be important to the heroes, and brings them to his side because he knows without him he would probably lose, you know? So it's kind of like a Sasuke in Naruto, right? That's, you know, they grabbed him. Well, you know, I'm just saying. Can you stop making a joke? No, I'm just having. I'm having this conversation. I just thought it makes sense if it is him. If it's not, I 100%, you know, I'm good with it because Grindelwald's just a lying, you know, mother effer. So I think whether it is or it isn't, I think you can really still go. I think it'll make sense in whatever way it goes, to be honest, because I can see both ways happening, and I kind of hope it is, just because you know, why get Ezra Miller if he's not gonna do it? So let's see.
You know, he's not. He's to be honest, if they turn it around and say he's not, I'll be surprised. You know, he's not going to do Flash anytime soon because of this franchise.
Oh, so Mick is so the chat saying, is it at least explain the Credence, who's Ezra Miller in the movie, survived the last movie? He blew up, but he didn't die because as you see it at the very end of the movie, there's like a little thing of magic going out to the sky, and that was him. He turned into like a phantom basically. So
yeah, he pulled a Felicia Hardy from the Spider-Man DLC. He's not.
Oh, you mean that? I was gonna say
not Turf Wars. I mean the first one.
I haven't even played that, so I don't know.
Oh, have you?
No, so but I mean, everybody knew she was alive. Nobody knew she was dead.
I mean, it's facts.
But yeah, I think why get Ezra Miller if he's not gonna be a part of it? It's a long talk about Fantastic Beasts, but I just, you know, I really did enjoy this movie, and I see a lot of people who don't, and that's to each their own, right? But I just think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is really inside baseball, if you know what I mean by that. It's just, there's a lot of things that if you didn't at least Google, someone like me, Google a lot of Harry Potter stuff in your heyday, or at least recently, you might not be too keen into it because there's so much about it that's just not overly explained.
Doesn't it technically go against everything anyway? So what's the point in even Googling it?
It doesn't go against everything. That's such a lie that people are saying.
I'm not saying. I didn't mean literally everything.
There is the Dumbledore thing because he doesn't have a brother in the original canon. But my thing has always been, especially since Krypton came out, was that if you're gonna do a prequel, maybe change it up a bit.
As we've had this conversation, Krypton's not a prequel to anything, so you can change.
That's not the only. Like I'm saying, like Krypton, or I even thought The Hobbit. You could have at least tried different stuff.
But The Hobbit's not a prequel. The Hobbit came out first.
Well, I'm talking about the movies.
Yeah, but
I know the books came out first, but I'm saying like even with the Hobbit movies, you could have made it different. So because with Game of Thrones, they're gonna have a prequel, and I felt like if you're gonna do that, at least try to make it different and add some different stuff we don't know of. I don't know. I just feel like if we're gonna do a prequel, like we don't even know. Like this is a prequel, but it's one of those things nobody knows too much about this side because there wasn't a lot of source material to it. There was only one little book, and it didn't really. This is kind of like J.K. Rowling making a new world, in my opinion, because there's not any source material.
Because she hasn't got anyone else to steal from. That's
well, I mean, she stole from herself, didn't she? Because that's her movie. I mean, her books.
No, I mean, like the books, they're not all her ideas.
Oh, well, I mean, tomato, but listen, she might be a bad person. I don't know. I don't know her. I don't follow on Twitter. I don't know any like controversy she's in or whatever, but if we're just kind of like basing off the movies, I think it's fine that, you know, there's a low-key a retcon that
To each their own.
I only think that just because there is no source material to this. She's making this up as, like, you know.
I mean, there is source material to it, but that's
there isn't. There's literally.
I mean, there's her own source material.
Well, I mean, if you mean Harry Potter, but I mean, like, there's no source material to this whole, like, thing in terms of, like, there was no book.
I'm sure there's no, like, prequel source material. You are right.
Yeah, there was no prequels to the Harry Potter books. So the movies,
even the book that this has got its title from wasn't even a story. It was just a little shrunken down pamphlet of a thing. So
I just think, with all that in mind, I think it's okay that there is these little quote unquote retcons or whatever, that they're adding new stuff, because there was, like, I know the only source is kind of like the history that was said in the Harry Potter movies, but books. But it's just, you know, not a lot of people read the books anyway, so it's just like...
Oh, that's a lie. You are nuts.
Yes, I'm going to say that.
No. Those books...
Okay. A lot of people read the books. But I'm just saying, I just don't think there's anything wrong with kind of, like, making different stuff in these prequels. This is my problem with a prequel. Why not just do a sequel?
Yeah.
This was my problem with a prequel, because then you get all these people who are annoying me. But it's just... I just think that it's okay. Like, I know I went so long about, I went like almost 30 minutes about Fantastic Beasts.
Which, we're going to have to go back onto it anyway in a second, so it's not a problem.
So yeah, overall, I like the movie. I don't think it matches to any of the Harry Potter movies. I think Harry Potter is better. Those movies are better, but I think it has potential. And I saw it from the first one. I thought Fantastic Beasts has potential. I just don't know if it's going to live up to it because of J.K. Rowling writing the script, and I just think they should get a actual better, you know, adapter of screenwriter for
just
it.
actually get a screenwriter.
Well, I mean, I guess she's a screenwriter now because she's screenwriting. Everybody, you know, I guess she's a screenwriter now, but get a more experienced screenwriter, I would say, to adapt.
Get someone who knows what a screenwriter does, not just I type words.
Well, I would say that maybe they should just get the same person that did the first Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
But I wonder. I guess the reason these movies are getting made is because she made a deal that she would be the one to write them. So I don't know. So I would say, yeah, I just think it's probably not going to live up to its potential, but I think they're just going to be good movies in the end. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I went a long, like, talk about it for that. It's a big movie. There's so much big things about it. Like, in terms of, like, everybody says they don't like it, but so many people are talking about it. So it's, like, one of those things of, like, I have to mention everything.
Yes, it's fine. But, yeah, I'm in the wrong article. God damn it. Anyway, to move on to our last topic that we do, of course, every week. The box office breakdown for November 16th. Number 5 was Widows with 12.3. Number 4 was Instant Family with 14.5. 3 was Bohemian Rhapsody with 16. Second was The Grinch with 38.5. And, of course, number 1 was The Crimes of Grindelwald with 62.1. Which is, fun fact, the lowest of any Harry Potter movie.
Okay, but...
what
was the projection? Was it 69?
It was... I think it was 67. I'm not 100% certain, but...
Instead of 69 for some reason.
It was around... It kind of met the estimates, but...
let's see. Yeah, I mean, 62 million. That's pretty good.
I say it wasn't bad.
Budget 200 million. I think it's gonna do pretty well. I think because what's coming out next, Creed and Wreck-It I think it could still maybe hold off a bit, maybe not. I don't know. It's just depending. It could move all the way down to 3, but
I was gonna say.
There's a world where Fantastic Beasts ends up still at number 1. And
yeah, but I don't think it's gonna.
I'm just saying there is a possibility.
I mean, it's entirely possible. But Creed 2 is looking at 34, and Ralph Breaks the Internet is looking at 52.
There's a slight possibility. I don't think. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll happen just because those two are big movies that are coming out on Thanksgiving weekend, and one's like a super family movie, and one's like the Creed. Everybody loves Creed. So
yeah, what's the audience score for Fantastic Beasts anyway?
I don't know. I don't believe in Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I'm talking about the audience score of it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't believe in Rotten Tomatoes. We don't talk about them on this podcast, so.
I mean, I'm
so Grinch 2, Rhapsody 3, right? I just think all these are gonna go down. So Rhapsody is just gonna be 5, Grinch is gonna be 4, Fantastic Beasts 3, and then I think Creed is gonna be 1, and Wreck-It Ralph 2, right? That because you really could go either one or two with those two, of Creed and Wreck-It Ralph, right? Because it just definitely seems like
there's like a 20 million gap between our pair.
You think so? I don't know. Like I just think
there's no way Creed beats Wreck-It Ralph.
You think so? I don't know.
No way, not on any timeline.
I don't know why I see it like that, but either way, yeah, everything's just moving down, isn't it? Like like we said, Fantastic Beasts 3, Grinch 4, Bohemian Rhapsody 5. Unless because Widows is it's gonna be out of top 5, and Instant Family maybe it could have made something, but Bohemian Rhapsody is just probably gonna move down to 5. So Wreck-It Ralph 1, that just seems good, and I don't know when I'm gonna see those movies, today or tomorrow. Let me see. Where is release schedule? Okay. I wonder what Robin Hood is gonna do. Like, it's probably not. It probably might not even. I mean, it could make the top 5, I guess. Like
Robin Hood's looking at 9. You ain't got.
It could make 4 or 5. It could make 4 or 5, to be honest. Because the 4 and 5 right now are, what is it? Instant Family and Widows, and those gotta go at least 50%, or at most 50%.
Yeah, but you think there's 3 in, like, you're keeping 3 the top 5 now, but you're adding 2 to it. There's no way it makes top 5. It'll get 6.
So like, all you gotta think is is Bohemian Rhapsody gonna make less than 9 or 8 million, and it could. Because if it's going down at least 50%, because like it went down 48%, it could go down 50.
Robin Hood could be 5. I don't think that Robin Hood movie is going to even make 9, to be honest.
Well, it's just if you think that Robin Hood can make at least like 8, because if it goes at least half off, then Bohemian Rhapsody would be at 8. If you think Robin Hood can make 8.1, then that's 5.
No, I honestly don't see that Robin Hood movie making even that.
I haven't seen a trailer for it. Or actually, no, I lie. So I remember seeing one in like half as I was walking into the movies because I was like a little late. And I was like, oh yeah, is that Robin Hood? Like, oh, okay, Robin Hood.
Looks nothing like a Robin
Taron
Hood.
Egerton, Jamie Foxx. Okay, then. Leonardo DiCaprio as a producer, and I did not know. But everything's moved down, and it's possibly just the fact that maybe Robin Hood could get 8.1, while Bohemian Rhapsody gets 8, but it's unlikely, because it definitely seems like Bohemian Rhapsody people are really into.
I mean, I haven't heard anyone talk about it since it came out.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's other stuff that's been coming out at the minute, so that doesn't surprise me, really. Or it shouldn't. But... yeah. But no, Ralph, Creed, Grindelwald,
well, what
Grinch,
what is Ralph supposed to make?
It's looking at 52.
I could see it under. I could see all of them going under just because of Thanksgiving. I feel like I don't know. It's one of those things where it's on holidays. Do you believe a lot of people go to the movies with their family, or do you think they stay home with their families?
I don't know, because there's some people be like, oh, everyone goes on around Christmas. People are like, no one goes on Christmas, but
I've seen some people go on Christmas, but not like everybody. I would say.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Because you look at that, say, just take Star Wars, for example. You know, it came out around Christmas. The Force Awakens came out way before Christmas and did X amount. But then again, you look at a sequel, it's like they came out virtually on Christmas, and it didn't do as much, but then it's a sequel, so it wasn't getting much anyway. So, I don't know, it's a tricky one. I honestly can't really say about like holiday box offices, especially Thanksgiving, because we didn't have it, so... But.
Yeah. So, so we don't kind of hit it over the hour mark. Anything else?
Nope.
Oh, damn. I thought Skype close.
No, that was me breathing into my bottle because I was taking a drink.
Okay.
And I was like, no. But no, so just to reiterate it, Ralph, Creed 2, Fantastic Beasts, The Grinch, Bohemian Rhapsody. That's our top 5. I imagine if Robin Hood gets in top 5, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Toodles.